Hello students, how are you feeling? I hope you're feeling good and ready for your English lesson. Well, welcome to iTTV. I'm Miss Helen, your Form 3 English Language Tutor. The topic we are going to do today is subject-verb agreement. It's a tough topic, but if you follow the lesson carefully, you will understand it very well and you won't make any grammatical errors in your spoken English and also in your written English. So get ready for the lesson. Today, it's subject-verb agreement. Now, when we say subject-verb agreement, the verb must agree with the subject. Subject refers to the person or the thing talked about. Now, in a sentence, you will have a subject and a verb. So that's where we say subject refers to the person or the thing talked about. Verb. Verb informs about the action of the subject or the state of being. Example, he plays badminton well. Now, he is the subject. Plays is the verb. So that has to agree. The verb must agree with the subject. Then only your sentence is grammatically correct. So here, he, subject, plays, action, verb. Students, you have seen the example. So now we are going to go to the next part of it, which will sort of make it clearer for you. So we are continuing with the lesson. Pay attention. The verb must agree with its subject. That's very, very important. Generally, use the singular verb for a singular subject and a plural verb for a plural subject. Remember, that's very, very important. I hope students, you will remember what teacher said just now. A singular verb must agree with a singular subject. All right, now you're going to look at the examples. The cat sleeps in the basket. Singular subject, singular verb. Now, cat is singular and sleeps is a singular verb. You see, if you look at the sentence, the cat sleeps in the basket. It's correct, grammatically correct. Now, there are students, sometimes they say, it sounds correct. No, we can't go by sounds. We have to remember the rules. So these are the rules that we are giving to you. So pay attention to the rules. The cats sleep in the basket. Now this is different. The cats, plural. So plural subject requires a plural verb. Students, I hope you're paying attention. Good. The next one. The subject takes a singular verb when. Two nouns. We are still talking about the subject. Two nouns refer to the same person or thing. Example, the manager and owner of this hotel is my uncle, Mr. Fernandez. So here we have two nouns, manager, owner. Manager and owner is the subject. Understood? Good. The subject takes a singular verb when. The singular subject is followed by expressions like with, as well as, together with, and accompanied by. Now, look at the example. Pam, as well as George, was away on a holiday. Now, can you see the difference here? Good. Now we'll go to the next slide. Students, the next example, number 2. Zahara, together with her friends, jogs here every evening. We are going to go to the next example. The teacher, with her pupils, is at the swimming pool. Now, some students might think, pupils, that's plural. How come we are using is? This is where you got to go back to your rules. The teacher, that's a subject, with her pupils. So when we use the word with, we have to remember it's singular subject. Remember your rules, and that's how the sentence is. The teacher with her pupils is at the swimming pool. Good. Next example. Now here we have expressions. There are expressions such as each, every, everyone, one of, someone, anyone, anybody. Now look at the examples. Each teacher is given a textbook. Now each is, remember, each teacher is given a textbook. Next, every student is expected to take part in the competition. Look at the next example. One of the boys has been selected to represent Selangor. Next, everyone is coming to the park now. Someone is hiding behind the cupboard. Is there anyone in the room? This is a question. Next, the subject takes a singular verb when the singular verbs are used for uncountable nouns and abstract nouns. I'm sure students, you know what are uncountable nouns and what are abstract nouns. Good. Now look at the example. The sand along the beach is white and fine. Now the sand is uncountable. You can't count sand. So that is uncountable. Next example. Honesty is the best policy. That's an abstract noun. Next, prevention is better than cure. Next, the subject takes a singular verb when an amount is mentioned as a whole because it is taken as a single unit. Amount, money, time, distance, and other measurements. Now, we are going to look at the examples. Pay attention. The 20 ringgit I found in the drawer belongs to Daniel. The second example, 15 kilometers is a long distance. Next, collective nouns use a singular verb for they are thought of as a whole. Our school choir is in the contest. Now, we take the school choir as a collective noun. All right, students, the next part. Plural verbs are used when two singular nouns are joined by and. Look at the example. My brother and sister are in the college. Now, and, see, we have two nouns, brother and sister, joined by and. So that's where we are using the plural. My brother and sister are at the college. Next, we are going to talk about individual units of a collective noun. Now, this is a bit different from what I explained earlier. So pay attention, students. The children were horrified by the incident. Now here, we are talking about the children as individual units. So, the children were horrified by the incident. So this is where we talk about individual units of a collective noun. Now, children is a collective noun. The next one, the residents are unhappy about the new road. Now, this is the next part where we use neither nor, either or. Now, the verb should agree with the subject nearer to it. Now, students, you will see that we are all the time emphasizing that the verb should agree with the subject. Now, that is a very, very important rule. If you can remember that rule, you will not go wrong in your grammar. Students, look at the example. Either Meena or you have to take part in the competition tonight. Next, neither the boy nor the girls are coming to the party tonight. The next example, neither the ladies nor the man is able to cook the dish. All right, students, now you have exercises to do. So keep in mind what I have taught you and do your exercises carefully. No mistakes. Remember the rules and you won't go wrong. Now, exercise 1. Fill in the blanks below with is or are. That's very simple, isn't it? The first sentence, education, blank, the key to success. The answer is, education is the key to success. Next, either Cheong or Owen attending the wedding. So the answer is. Either Cheong or Owen is attending the wedding. Number 3, she, blank, leaving for London tomorrow. Now what's the answer? Is, definitely is. She is leaving for London tomorrow. Number 4, the doctors attending a medical conference next week. The answer is are. The doctors are attending a medical conference next week. Number 5, Anita and Sarah going to the club next week. The answer is are. Anita and Sarah are going to the club next week. Students, how did you find exercise 1? I'm sure most of you got it right. So that shows you've been following the lesson well. So now we'll go on to exercise 2, where you'll do something a bit different. So look at exercise 2. Now here, you're going to underline the correct verb in the brackets. Number 1, anybody, brackets, is, are, allowed to enter the reception. So the answer is, anybody is allowed to enter the reception. Number 2, neither the police nor the politicians, bracket, was, were, afraid of the dog. The answer, were. Neither the police nor the politicians were afraid of the dog. Number 3, nobody is, are, brackets, moody at the camp because nobody is, are, allowed to feel lonely. Now, here you are given 2 brackets, so you are required to give 2 answers. All right, let's look at the answers. Nobody is moody at the camp because nobody is allowed to feel lonely. Next, each of the boys, brackets, is, are, going for the camping trip. Answer, each of the boys is going for the camping trip. Number 5, either Kim or Alif, brackets, is, are, down with H1N1 flu. Both of them, brackets, is, are, now in bed. Let's look what the answer is. Either Kim or Alif is down with H1N1 flu. Both of them are now in bed. All right, students, how did you find the exercise? Exercise 2 was a bit challenging, but if you remember your rules, you'll be able to do it well. So now, I'm going to give you the summary so that you will be able to remember better. Refresh your minds. So students, pay attention. The basic rule: use the singular verb for a singular subject and use the plural verb for a plural subject. That's very simple, isn't it, students? All right. Now, other uses of singular verbs. Two nouns, that's supposed to be the subject, refer to the same person or thing. Number two, the singular subject is joined with words using expressions like with as well as, together with. Other uses of singular verbs. Number three, when there are expressions such as each, every, everyone, one of, someone, anyone, anybody, or anything. Number four, use the singular verbs for uncountable and abstract nouns. Number five, use singular verb when the amount is mentioned as a whole. Special cases: collective nouns thought of as a whole, or we refer to the individuals of the group. Number two, use of neither, nor, either, or. Verb should agree with the subject nearer to it. All right, students, that's the end of our lesson. Hope you have understood all the rules. So practice the exercises and you will improve in your grammar. Thank you. Till we meet again.